Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Guys, let me know, do you like the hello or do you like the what's up everybody in the beginning? Because I kind of like the hello type. I mean, it gives me kind of like some vintage like 1950s vibes. I don't even know what I'm talking about, but I was looking back on my channel and I totally forgot that I didn't even do an iPhone 11 Pro versus the iPhone 7 Plus comparison, and I don't even think that many people want to watch it, but I kind of feel bad because the 11 Pro is my current main phone that I use, but the iPhone 7 Plus is my last phone that I used as a main device, and I had a really good time with the 7 Plus. I honestly think it's probably one of the best phones I've ever owned as a main phone. Of course, my 11 Pro is the best phone that I've owned, but the best experience I've ever had, I think, was with the 7 Plus. You know, it was a super premium device then, and I still think it's a pretty compelling device now. So I want to see how they kind of stack up, how they compare. I'm going to do a speed comparison. I'm going to do as much as I can. I will be doing probably a full in-depth camera comparison later on in like a couple weeks, maybe like a week or two from now, hopefully sooner than that. But whenever that drops, I'll try to link the first link down in the description so you guys can check that out whenever you get a chance, if that's still there. But the iPhone 11 Pro just came out like 2, 3, 4 weeks ago, not that long ago. The iPhone 7 Plus actually came out in 2016 in September, so this year it actually turned 3 years old, and honestly it doesn't even feel like a 3-year-old device. I mean, it looks like a 3-year-old device, but when I'm holding it, the specific version that I'm talking about is the jet black. When I'm holding that one, it feels so good. That was the one I used as a main phone, but my current 7 Plus is not that one. It's like that matte black one, which I really honestly don't even like, but it was the cheapest one on eBay, so I had to buy it. And in terms of the outside, these phones could not be any more different. You have a 5.5-inch 1080p IPS panel on the iPhone 7 Plus, but a 5.8-inch Super Retina XDR OLED display. That name is so corny. I don't know why they ever called it that, but that one is 1125 by 2436. That's the type of resolution. And the pixels per inch are higher on the iPhone 11 Pro as well. So a really cool thing about the iPhone 11 Pro, the screen itself is amazing. The 7 Pluses isn't bad, but the 11 Pros is far better. They both don't have headphone jacks. Obviously on the front, home button on the 7 Plus, Touch ID, just notch and Face ID on the 11 Pro. Now looking on the back, triple camera setup on the 11 Pro and only a dual camera setup on the 7 Plus. It's so funny now we're saying only a dual camera setup. A lot of phones in the marketplace still only have single camera setups. And in terms of the outside, I mean, that's pretty much it. The 11 Pro feels way more premium. The 7 Plus doesn't feel cheap depending on the variant you get. My specific current version that I have, the matte black one, it's not even close to the 11 Pro. That one does not feel that premium. But the jet black version of the 7 Plus, I would say, is probably on par with the 11 Pro in my opinion. IP67 dust and water resistance on the 7 Plus. IP68 dust and water resistance on the iPhone 11 Pro. So pretty big little differences right there. Now in terms of software updates, the iPhone 11 Pro is going to beat it whichever way you look at it. You know, it just got started with the iOS updates. The iPhone 7 Plus, got released with iOS 10.0.1. You are able to get iOS 13 on it, and I've done extensive testings on it throughout the whole entire iOS 13 experience, even the iOS 12 experience, and I find no problems with it. I think it's a very good, compelling device, but without a doubt, whichever way you look at it, like I stated, the 11 Pro will definitely outlast the iPhone 7 Plus in software updates. So that kind of covers that. Now let's go ahead and move on to the actual speed comparison. Now I'll tell you the specifications of both the phones and the internals, and I'll just show you the speed comparison that I did. Now I haven't done it yet, so I can't comment on it, but the iPhone 7 Plus has the Apple A10 Fusion chip, a quad-core CPU, and 3 GB of RAM. It was the first iPhone to bring 3 gigs of RAM, so really cool thing. The iPhone 11 Pro, however, has the Apple A13 Bionic chip, a hexa-core CPU, and 4 GB of RAM. So again, a pretty big difference. You have an additional gigabyte of RAM. You have about a 3-year improvement in phones between these. So let's go and see which one is the faster device between these. If I had to put my money on it, I would probably say the iPhone 11 Pro is going to be the faster one, but I don't think the 7 Plus is going to be off too slow, but no, I guess we'll see. Go ahead and check it out. Alright everyone, we're getting into the comparison now. Now we have all these almost the same apps on both devices, so we're going to go start loading them up. Let's do SoundCloud, 3, 2, 1. And the iPhone 11 Pro, look how much faster this device is. I mean, the 7 Plus took forever, much longer than I actually thought it was going to take. Netflix, 3, 2, 1. And they were almost the same time, not that big of a difference there. Quizlet, 3, 2, 1. And I think the 7 Plus actually got into that one faster, but it was very close. Not that big of a difference there. Dropbox, 3, 2, 1. And I think the 7 Plus again was a faster one, but not by much. It was almost the same. Bofa, 3, 2, 1. And for some reason, the 7 Plus got into that one faster. I'm actually kind of surprised. I honestly wasn't expecting the 7 Plus to be beat there, or to be winning there for that matter. Thank you, 3, 2, 1. And the iPhone 11 Pro did win there, thank God. Getting into some gameplay, you'll see. I don't even know how I cheat there, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be the same. Snake versus blocks, 3, 2, 1. And the 11 Pro beat it, the iPhone 7 Plus shortly after. Let's get into some gameplay and see if it glitches up on either of them. The 11 Pro I've been playing with, and it seems to be playing these games just fine, which I really, really like, but the gameplay seems to be the same. Temple Run, 3, 2, 1. Now I might have to restart one of these because it will probably in the middle of a game. Yes, this one is. It's always one of them. Restarting it again. Temple Run, 3, 2, 1. And one of them has a sound on. I think it's a 7 Plus. But let's see which one is faster. And as you guys saw, the 7 Plus was faster there. And I don't know. I don't really understand this. They're both. All these apps are updated, so it doesn't really make much sense to me. But gameplay is going to be exactly the same. They're both very identical performance. Fruit Ninja, 3, 2, 1. And the iPhone 11 did win there. Oh my god, this is so obnoxious. Okay, turn that down. Gameplay is going to be almost exactly the same. Paper Out 2, 3, 2, 1. And look at that, iPhone 11 Pro, faster one there. Getting into some gameplay, and I don't think you'll notice that big of a difference. Maybe the 11 Pro is smoother, but this game is just kind of a bad game overall. Temple Run 2, 3, 2, 1. And the iPhone 11 Pro is already getting into the gameplay. I forgot how to speak today. And the 7 Plus is still loading. And you can see eventually we get into it on the 7 Plus. Glitched up a little bit, but it's alright. And eventually we do get into it, and we're still not loaded. And then we eventually get into it. So let me go ahead and show you guys the benchmark score. I have to download the Real Racing 3 again on the 11 Pro, or on the 7 Plus, sorry. So I don't feel like doing that. But as you can see, quite a bit of difference. Now this was a score on my iPhone 10, but as you can see I have my 11 Pro. I just did a backup. I haven't refreshed it yet, but I had a score of about 450,000 on my iPhone 11 Pro, not 250,000, which was on my iPhone 10 previously. On my iPhone 7 Plus, 192,319. So remember, this is not it. It was 450 on my iPhone 11 Pro. But as you can see, I mean, it was a pretty big difference in my opinion. But there were some times, most of the time, where the 7 Plus was actually faster. So I'm not even going to say it was a big difference. I redact that. I retract that. It was a very small difference. In some cases, the 7 Plus was actually faster. So I will investigate this further. It's really, really weird, but I guess we'll just go ahead and see what happens. But it's a very weird thing. I was not expecting that. But that's that. Let's go and go back to the comparison. Now that we're back, let's go ahead and talk about the cameras. This is not a full in-depth comparison, not even close. I'll probably do that sooner than later, but the iPhone 7 Plus had a dual camera setup. You have two 12 megapixel sensors, the wide angle lens, and then the telephoto lens. And this was the first iPhone to bring not only an extra sensor, but the first telephoto lens into an iPhone. And you're able to shoot 4K videos on it, and I think it's a very, very good sensor. You can do a lot with it still, and maybe people hate on it because it's not the best quality. Last year when I did my 7 Plus versus my iPhone XR camera comparison, I noticed how many improvements were had on the iPhone XR, which is really cool. The iPhone 11 Pro has 3 camera sensors on the back. They're all 12 megapixel sensors. You have the wide angle lens, you have a telephoto lens, but you have an additional ultra wide sensor. And not only do you have 4K 60 frames and all those cool little features, you have new additional hardware into this camera, which automatically, in my opinion, makes it a level up. I mean, when you're comparing even like going back in time, the 6S Plus versus the 7 Plus, even if the quality was the same, the 7 Plus automatically wins because of that additional sensor. And now looking at it, it's kind of the same mindset. It kind of automatically wins. The 11 Pro wins because of that additional sensor. But not only that, you also have way more features into that camera as well. You have night mode, you have so many cool little things that I don't even remember at this point. But without a doubt, I will definitely tell you the 11 Pro has the better camera quality here. Now, The front camera is 7 megapixels on the 7 Plus, 12 megapixel sensors on the 11 Pro. A really cool thing about the 11 Pro, you can do 4K at up to 60 frames per second, which is really, really cool. I was not expecting that. So that kind of covers that in terms of the camera quality. Now hitting on the battery life super quickly, we have a 2900 mAh battery on the 7 Plus, a 3046 mAh battery on the iPhone 11 Pro, and that additional size in battery says a lot, but also the newer optimized chipsets and everything really make the 11 Pro a much more compelling device in terms of battery life. But the other thing I want to hit on is that the iPhone 7 Plus is not a brand new device anymore. The battery has almost 99% degraded in my opinion. It hasn't degraded to 1%, not. I'm just saying it's probably not at that 100% anymore. It's probably at like 95, 90%, even probably less than lower than that. In the 11 Pro, the fact that it just came out, it's still at 100%. So without a doubt, I will definitely tell you the iPhone 11 Pro will have the better battery life between these two. And to kind of sum up this whole entire comparison, man, I mean, there's no way to say this. The 11 Pro is the better device in every single direction than the iPhone 7 Plus. But I don't want to sit here and say like the 7 Plus is a horrible device or a bad device. I still think the 7 Plus can do about like 90% of what the 11 Pro can still do. Like iOS updates, that's still lasting for a very long time on the 7 Plus. At least another 2 versions in my opinion. You're still getting a pretty fast phone, a pretty premium built phone. You're getting the Apple ecosystem. You're getting a pretty good camera still. The 11 Pro just beats it in every way, but I don't think, like, if you weren't comparing them side by side, I really wouldn't think you would notice that big of a difference, in my opinion, between these phones. But obviously, if you had to pick one, get the 11 Pro. It's a pretty big upgrade from the 7 Plus, but I would recommend you to keep your 7 Plus if you currently have one. I don't think you're missing out on too much, in my opinion. So you could still go buy an iPhone 10 or iPhone 10s, which would be a much cheaper upgrade, and you're still getting about almost everything that the 11 Pro offers. So I'll leave the cheapest iPhone 10s that I find on Amazon and link them straight down in the description below so you guys can get them straight from there. But that is pretty much it. If you guys have any other questions or anything, leave it down in the comment section below. Hit that like button, that would mean so much, but definitely hit that subscribe button. Every single subscriber that we get really does count, so it means so much if you guys could hit that. Also check out the other links down in the description as well. My Twitter, my Instagram, my second channel, all those links are linked down below. I'd really appreciate it if you guys could check it out. But more importantly than everything else, I love every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out till then.